has listed the former sites of 3 elementary schools for sale. The former Keller, Frabel, and Wequiak sites are listed on LoopNet.com for about $500,000 each. Other school properties are involved in a land swap with the city of Green Bay. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Brewers win a thriller. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers and Royals tied at 2-2. Bottom of the 11th. Milwaukee's Oliver Dunn. A base runner on third. Bryce Terang at the plate. Brian Anderson with the call on FanDuel, Wisconsin.
And Terang does square, gets a bunt down. Here comes Dunn. He scores! A squeeze bunt walk-off for Bryce Terang. And the Brewers win 3-2 in 11.
Terang on finding a way to win.
It feels good. We were in that situation because of our pitching staff keeping us to a one-run game through the ninth and, kept us in the game.
Manager Pat Murphy.
If you put a bunt like that down, there's nobody in the world that can defend anything about it.
The Brewers open a 4-game series tonight against the Reds. The Bucks are in Philly tonight taking on the 76ers. A major setback for the Badgers women's volleyball team. 6'1" Grace Lopez suffering a season-ending torn ACL in her right knee. With Sports on Mike Clemens.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the low 30s. Partly sunny tomorrow, a high near 50. Maybe a shower tomorrow night. And for the weekend, with a return to sunshine, high temperatures pretty close to 50 degrees. It's 46 right now.
Today's job market is full of demand for skilled trade workers. Electricians, welders, mechanics, these and other trades are the backbone of every community. They're also a huge part in making sure the Army National Guard is always fulfilling its mission of service to our country and communities. Soldiers train to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. The skilled trades these soldiers perform are the same ones needed in today's civilian workforce. Army National Guard soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. With options from plumber to helicopter mechanic and everything in between, soldiers are able to select the trades that best fit their lives. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession and serve your community and country by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time. The producer and director of Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers, will be in studio for a big show for Friday. Join us.
The Todd Albaugh Show, weekdays noon till 2. Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who once tore his ACL playing chess, Pete Schwaba.
We have an ACL injury we're going to talk about very shortly. Luckily, it's not mine. I'm too inactive. I've been more inactive lately than even playing chess. So it's not me that tore my ACL. But hey, welcome to Nightlight, ladies and gentlemen. A little ACL talk to kick things off. I'm Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Thursday night, the Christmas Eve of weekdays, as we call it here at Nightlight. You are almost at the weekend, which most people like. I kind of don't know what to do with myself during the weekend, but I'll find a way to have fun. I will have fun because this weekend I am heading down to Madison for the Wisconsin Film Festival. And it is such a blast. Every year I represent PBS there and host Q&As and introduce films and go to the parties. And it's just an absolute really fun time. If you're in the Madison area or feel like a road trip, check out the Wisconsin Film Festival, an incredible lineup of films, guests, and you get to hang out in Madison. It's really fun. So I will be live from Madison tomorrow night and Monday night, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But right now, without further ado, I think I need to introduce a man you all know and are familiar with, the K-Man, Conrad.
Hello.
Conrad Kruger.
Whoa, all right. You're going to get it right one day. I believe in you.
Conrad Krieger, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Doing good, yeah. I'm excited this weekend. My parents are going to be back, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Coming up from Florida?
Yeah.
What's the occasion? Warm weather?
Not a great occasion.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but get to see him, so going to go golfing on Saturday, indoors.
Okay. Oh.
Indoor sim. My mom and dad are really into golf now, too, since they live on a course now. But, yeah, the whole family's going out for golf.
If you live in Florida, you might as well.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't really golf. I don't have the patience for it. But I don't hate it. But I think if I lived in Florida or right next to a golf course, I'd probably golf.
They got the 15th hole right behind their house.
Really? Have they ever taken a golf ball to the melon or sitting out on the patio drinking champagne coolies, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you got a golf ball in your drink?
Yeah. Not so far. They haven't told me anything yet, but
okay.
But then I'm gonna meal prep on Sunday with my brother and.
Oh, okay.
So
how long are your folks in Wisconsin for?
They're gonna be here till Wednesday next week.
In the area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Conrad? I think
we need a live studio audience.
I think maybe they're due for a trip into the studio.
Yeah,
we can thank them in person for their texts.
Well, I brought my mom in here one time and showed her around. But
oh yeah,
yeah, my dad hasn't seen it yet.
Let's book it. Paula, Steve, if you're listening, we need this. It'll be a ratings bonanza. They're two of our best texters, right? So we gotta have them in. Check with them. I would love that. That would be a lot of fun. I'll be back on Tuesday night and Thursday, and so we can do Tuesday or Wednesday if they're around.
Yeah.
Have the Krugers. Sorry, the Krogers. I mean the Kriegers.
There you go. There you go.
In the studio, and I promise I'll get the name right. And that's coming from a Schwaba. Great show tonight, folks. It is Thursday, which means we make our popcorn pick of the week. And when I say we, I mean our guest, and his name is Greg Schwem. He writes for his own The Humor Hotel on Tribune Content Agency, Tribune Media Services. Greg is a syndicated columnist. He's been on the show before, and he's always fun to talk to. And it's fun to break down Greg's articles. He has a great comedian's take on kind of everyday things. So I'll ask Greg about some of his articles after he gives us a popcorn pick of the week, and we talk a little bit about movies. So that'll be fun. And then, this is exciting too. Don't ask me how I did this, Conrad, but I convinced a family friend to be on the show for a few minutes. And he said, I have to find this now because I'm part of all these chains where there's like 18,000. It's the Milwaukee Bucks Play Like a Pro promotion, sponsored by Michelob. John Corwin is my friend who won. He did a video shot by my son, Joe, who's also been on the show at times. And John had his baby, Signe, who is like a year old now, close to a year old. And Joe made this video to enter John in the contest. John got in. They chose him for the Play Like a Pro. And he's a pretty good basketball player when he was younger, too. So they put this funny video together, sent it in, and John took my son Joe to the challenge or the Play Like a Pro promotion, whatever it was, at Pfizer Forum, and they both got to play with Brandon Jennings, who's kind of a fan. He's like a fan favorite, right?
Oh yeah,
very nice guy. They loved him.
If you're not familiar with Bucks and Six, he's the guy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In an interview, they asked him, "What are your playoff chances?" And he goes, "Bucks and 6."
He's the guy that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's so. Was he on the team then?
Yeah, I believe so.
He was right at the tail end of his career, right?
Yeah,
getting close. That's so cool.
Brandon Jennings is a great guy for Wisconsin. Great Milwaukee guy. He loves Wisconsin.
Good ambassador for the team. Well, my son Joe loved him. I know John loved him. They said he was really cool, and they both got to come out. They had their names announced, by the PA after doing these drills with Brandon Jennings, and they introduced Joe Schwaba, and Joe comes out with a headband on with the ball, and he points to the sky, and there's nobody in the arena. Oh, it was so funny, and they had a blast. So we'll talk about that. That was a great thing that the Bucks did, and it was really nice that John got to be a part of it along and brought my son with him. So that was fun too. Joe will not be joining us, but John will be here to recant his experience and hitting the hardwood at Pfizer. I think that's a pretty cool thing, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about Brandon Jennings. Hey, your Brewers won today.
Yeah, it's
2-5, 2-4,
2-4.
Okay. It's early, dude.
Just a couple more games left.
How are the Cubs winning? Are they off to a good start?
Who cares about the Cubs?
I haven't even looked at the standing. Who cares about the Cubs? I'll tell you who cares about the Cubs, pal. About 10 million people just south of here. Well, no, about 7 million. The other 3 like the Sox.
Well,
there's probably a few Brewer fans in there too.
They got a winning record, so
Do they? Okay. Are they
5-4.
Oh, okay.
Cardinals are 4-2, so they're in first.
God, I can't. The Cardinals are good. They're a good organization. They're like the Pittsburgh Steelers of baseball. They just know how to run a ball club. They're always competitive.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
I hated the Cardinals growing up. Still don't like them. Hate's a little strong word, but
Yeah. When I was a kid, the first jersey I had was a Lou Brock jersey. I was probably 5. So I liked the Cardinals for a stretch. I loved how they, at least back in the 70s, they were really aggressive. Like they stole bases. They were fast. They were fun to watch. So I cheered for the Cardinals for a little while.
I'll admit something to you since we're admitting things. I was a Dodgers fan at one time.
Ooh. You know what? Another great organization.
My favorite player growing up was Andre Ethier.
Oh, I remember. Oh,
and
yeah.
Matt Kemp.
Yeah.
Those guys were really good at baseball, but I don't know why I like the Dodgers so much, but I had to change, and a good change, to the Brewers.
Eventually, you're coming home.
Right.
We spent so much time at Dodger Stadium, and they are so great with fans. Did I tell you my Willie Garson story?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we'll do that next. Willie Garson was on Sex and the City. He was in Kingpin. It's a phenomenal character actor who's no longer with us. A great actor. And he and I took our kids to a Dodger game because he got this free skybox. And I'll tell you what happened after the break. But let's continue to introduce the show. I don't know what it is about the Dodgers because when I was a kid in my neighborhood in Chicago, lots of Dodgers fans, lots of Oakland A's fans.
Oakland A's aren't even a team anymore.
Right.
Well, they're the Athletics.
Right.
In Vegas now.
Oh, they're in Vegas, yeah.
But they don't have. It doesn't say the Vegas Athletics. It's just the Athletics.
That's so weird. I hate when teams move. So there you go. There's some great guests, and then we've got our Conrad. You ready?
I'm ready.
In honor of Val Kilmer's death 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? 2 days ago.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. It's our time for our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Pregunta. Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question. Questions.
What is your favorite Val Kilmer movie? Every once in a while, folks, an actor or actress passes away, and they've got such a body of work that even people who aren't movie nuts know some of their movies. And Val Kilmer is one of them. So what is your favorite Val Kilmer movie? We are back up and running on the text line, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. It's really weird. I was thinking about this the other day when I heard this news. Val Kilmer's 65. My favorite Val Kilmer movie is probably Real Genius because that's the first time I saw him in a film. And the guy just popped off the screen. He had this great charisma. He was like this young, handsome, wisecracking guy. And he was great in that movie. And I don't think at the time he loved doing that movie. I think he saw himself as this serious actor. And I think later in his life, he looked back on that with a little more affection for Real Genius. But think about that. His career basically ended at 55. Guy of the world on a string. And he had no idea when he was filming that he'd be gone at 65. It's just crazy. Enjoy every moment, ladies and gentlemen, of your life. Whether you're a movie star or not. Because you just don't know. It's terrible that he's gone. What do you say? I say Real Genius. You got one, Con?
I just kind of had to look up some movies just to.
Have you seen Tombstone?
I don't think I have.
Oh, that's this weekend, buddy. Check it out.
Let's see. I do like his Batman. Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. A lot of people. That's the nipple Batman. That's what people call him.
Yes.
Who just said that to me? Somebody just said that.
That was Amanda who said.
Was that Amanda?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So nipple Batman. I don't know.
I liked it because Jim Carrey's the Riddler in it.
Yeah. I got to go Real Genius. Close second. I don't know. Maybe a close second would be Top Secret because he stole that movie. Physical comedy, hilarious, again with the wisecracks. Great as Jim Morrison. You could really argue he's just good in everything. He was that kind of a talent. Some people will say Top Gun. But that's our question for the night, folks. Let us know. Stream us. Text us. Shout it if you live close by. And we'll relay the message to the masses. What is your favorite Val Kilmer film? Nationally syndicated columnist Greg Schwem will be along shortly to make the popcorn pick of the week. And I'm going to tell my Willie Garson story. Willie was a great guy. And it'll be fun, and we'll read some texts. Maybe we'll make some s'mores. No promises. It's a Thursday. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Had to get away from those foes. We learned more from a 3-minute record than we ever learned in school. Turn out to hear the neighborhood drummer sound and feel my heart begin to pound. So you're tired, just wanna close your eyes, follow your dream down. But we made a promise, we swore we'd always remember.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
Are you ever questioning when life will slow down? Are you ever thinking of just relaxing and enjoying the simple things? All of this is possible, even while still being in the workforce. Worthington, Minnesota is a town growing, yet it's nothing like metro life. Professional and labor jobs, a beautiful lake, bike trails, recreation, acres of public hunting, festivals, and great people. Slow down. We're just a short drive away, so come join us. Worthington, it's worth a look.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. With a vote on the SAVE Act imminent in the U.S. House, secretaries of state, pro-voter groups, and election officials are voicing alarm at likely widespread disenfranchisement of eligible voters and an unfunded mandate by Congress. The Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act sponsor seeks to keep foreign nationals from voting in federal elections, already illegal, but without any evidence of widespread non-citizen voting in any state. It will, however, keep eligible Americans from voting. It mandates proof of citizenship to register or when updating records, but limits that proof to a birth certificate, U.S. passport, or naturalization papers. 9% of Americans don't have those documents readily available, and because they have to be presented in person, working Americans, seniors, and the disabled will all be impacted. Even with a birth certificate, 69 million married women change their name upon marriage, and 146 million Americans don't own a valid passport, according to the Center for American Progress. The group Declaration for American Democracy just submitted a letter citing its impact on rural voters, voters of color, women, and victims of natural disasters. Election officials convened by Issue 1 cited criminal penalties for errors and the unfunded cost to implement it. 14 secretaries of state and
I am Pete Schwaba, and you've got Nightlight, folks. Great to have you with me. Hey, if you haven't played yet, and even if you already have, you can keep playing. It's our Break into Spring Text to Win statewide contest here at Civic Media. Your daily chance to win a Chula Vista Getaway, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, or $100 in cash in your pocket. Plus, every entry puts you into our grand prize drawing of a brand new queen mattress set from Verlo that includes a mattress, sheet set, mattress protector, and pillows. I don't know if decorative pillows are included, but the good stuff is coming. It's a whole package from Verlo. It's great stuff. Times for Text to Win are 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. All you do is open the app. You have to have the app to play. Very easy to use. Open it up. Click in the wait for the word of the day, and text it in, and you are entered for a daily prize and the grand prize. You could win two. You could win twice, and all it takes is a text, and it's free. You just have to have the app. Good luck, everybody. So our question of the night is, what is your favorite Val Kilmer movie? We've got some really good ones from social media. We'll read those. We'll read some texts. A lot of Tombstone. I knew we'd see Tombstone. That's up there, too. But I thought he was so good at comedy. He's great in Heat. He's good in everything. All right, so my Willie Garson story. Willie Garson was on Sex and the City. He was in Kingpin. He's the guy that asks Woody Harrelson, he goes, come on, give me something to read. I got to take a dump. And Woody Harrelson hands him a shampoo bottle. And Willie says, I already read this one. So Willie was a great guy. He adopted a son. They ended up at our grade school in L.A. And my son and Willie's son, Nathan, became friends. And Willie said, hey, I got this package I won from the Dodgers. It's a luxury skybox or, whatever the box is. He said, do you and Joe want to go? And I said, sure. So we go to Dodger Stadium on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We pull up to the gate, and we're not on the list. So Willie's like, oh, man. And they said, we are so sorry, sir. And it turns out Willie got the date wrong. It was supposed to be Sunday. So here's how good. Now, Willie was a celebrity. He's got one of those faces that you recognize when you see him. So the Dodgers kind of bent over backwards to keep him happy. They said, we don't have a skybox today. We are so sorry. But they kept apologizing to him. And he's like, it's my fault. It's okay. You guys did nothing wrong. This is on me. And they still gave us seats about 3 rows behind home plate. We were right by Mary Hart from Entertainment Tonight and Larry King. And it was better. It's baseball. And it's Southern California. So we're sitting outside. It was better than a luxury skybox. And it was an absolute blast. And we just horsed around. We made fun of Larry King. It was an absolute great time. And I'd like to thank Willie on the air for that and for that memory. That's my Dodger story, Conrad.
There you go.
And in baseball, I would take that over a luxury box. Football and basketball, give me the box. Give me the great food.
Well, I mean,
I'll take it.
Basketball, you're not outside. You're indoors, so it doesn't
matter.
Yeah.
I've done that too. I went with some friends to a Clipper, and who cares about the Clippers, right? All we did was sit there and stuff our face. Well, it was like an invitation.
Yeah.
I don't like the Lakers too. I never liked the Lakers, but my point in that whole story, the Dodgers organization, top to bottom, great with families and really good. So the fact that you don't feel bad about cheering for the Dodgers for a portion of your life.
They always beat the Brewers whenever it matters. So.
Well, I had Dodger friends that hated the Cubs when I lived out there. I hate the Cubs. I'm like, how do you hate the Cubs? Like at the time were the most toothless. You never worried about the Cubs. They hadn't won in 100 years. I'm like, how do you hate the Cubs? They hated the Cubs. So we got some texts on our social media pages, which is great. For our question of the night, what is your favorite Val Kilmer movie? Eric Rathsack of Ask Your Mother, one of our favorite dudes here at Night Light, says, Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. That's a great one, too. I got to give that a rewatch. I remember really liking it, but it's not something I saw more than once. So I'm kind of sketchy on the movie, actually. Tom on social media, I think this is from Facebook, says, ugh, it's between Tombstone and Heat. See, Tom likes the more kick-ass roles. Nothing wrong with that. He was great at those, too. Paul from Wonderfully, Wisconsin. Folks, give it a follow.
Yeah.
Paul does great work. As much as I want to say Tombstone, I'd have to say Real Genius. There are no right answers, ladies and gentlemen. There are no wrong answers. Actually, they're all right answers. They're just your answers. Marta Hansen, our friend, a phenomenal musician, Marta Hansen. We got to get her back on the show, too.
Yeah.
She says Willow. Okay, that was a big one in the 80s. I think that's the movie. If Eric from Lodi is listening, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's where he met his wife, Joanne Wally Kilmer, at the time. Brett Kissinger, who's been on the show. Top Gun. Okay, which one, though, Brett? He was in both. Probably the first one. Daniel Wheeler says, Tombstone. Loved his portrayal of Doc Holliday, a loyal deviant. Yeah, Tombstone. I'm telling you, Conrad, you have to watch Tombstone. Our buddy Matt Harper. What do we call him? A rock rap artist. I love that. He says Heat, and he put a picture. That's cool, too. Thank you, Matt. Scott Lieburn, all the way from Marinette High School. Scott doesn't live there anymore. He says Tombstone. Tombstone's great. Tombstone is definitely in my top 3. And Mike on the stream says, I love them all, but his appearance in Top Gun Maverick will be the most memorable for me. The scene between him and Tom Cruise was straight from the heart. There was an eerie mix of reality and cinema. It was their goodbye for them and us. Yeah, I do. I kind of remember that, Mike. I remember thinking it was like this, like really authentic scene. I just don't remember much. I like Top Guns. I didn't love them. I liked them. Ezekiel says, I grew up with Willow and Batman Forever. Okay. There you go, buddy. Conrad, Ezekiel's with you.
There we go.
He likes the nipple Batman. That's good stuff. And then on the stream, Dave says, Tombstone. Yep, another one for Tombstone. 4 boils. Just 4? Tell us more about this champagne coulis drink. Matt B from Fox Point. That's my buddy Matt. Champagne coulis, coconut Susies, Shirley Temples. They're all great, Matt. Matt and I have shared a laugh over those drinks. He says, Top Gun. Iceman was iconic. So that would be the first one, right? I barely remember the first one. I think I gave it a watch before I went to see this one. Great text, everybody. Keep them coming. What is your favorite Val Kilmer movie? He is no longer with us, gone at 65. When we come back, we're going to do the popcorn pick of the week. My pal Greg Schwem will be here. He's a nationally syndicated columnist, does great stuff. Check out Humor Hotel, and you can see all of Greg's articles. He's coming up next. It's going to be a fun night here at Nightlight. Great to have you with me. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
And it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest now. He takes off her dress now. Let me go. 'Cause I just can't look. It's killing me.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The month of March brought storm after storm to Wisconsin. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot tells us how the ice storm hurt.
After the ice storm in northern Wisconsin last weekend, Governor Tony Evers has now declared a state of emergency. The ice coated everything and caused widespread and significant damage, including plenty of power outages, trees snapping, and damage to structures. As of Thursday morning, about 2,500 customers were still without power, and cleanup of debris is still underway.
Water in the city of Oshkosh might smell and taste different when the Department of Public Works begins replacing ozone system equipment at the water filtration plant. Oshkosh disinfects drinking water using a combination of ozone and chlorine. During the project, the ozone system will be offline at times, and chlorine will be the primary water treatment method. The city said in a press release that the level of residual chlorine in the water will be safe to drink, but some residents may notice an increased smell or taste of chlorine. The project starts Monday and will continue for several weeks. A recent report from the University of Wisconsin La Follette School of Public Affairs found that while Wisconsin's water quality is generally very good, the finances of water utilities are far from it. According to the report, 92% of utilities received an A grade on their water quality report card. The other 8% got B grades. Almost half of them, however, received an F grade for transparency, as researchers found a lack of information on their websites. They also found that nearly half of the utilities in our state don't have rate information available online. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Actor Val Kilmer passed away on Tuesday of complications from pneumonia. Kilmer was a Juilliard-trained actor and to this day is still the youngest person ever accepted into the prestigious school. Kilmer was an incredibly versatile actor who had well over 100 movie credits in his career that spanned several genres. Val took on roles like Doc Holliday in Tombstone, Jim Morrison in The Doors, and Batman. One of his most notable roles includes his first movie role as Nick Rivers in the hilarious Top Secret, which was written by 3 Wisconsin comedy legends, Jim Abrahams and Jerry and David Zucker. Kilmer also shined in such films as Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, both Top Gun movies, and of course, Real Genius, in which he played Chris Nite, a brilliant college student who mentors a younger and even smarter genius. Kilmer contracted throat cancer in 2015, which more or less ended his career. There's a great documentary about the actor available on Prime Video called Val. Val Kilmer was 65 years old. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the low 30s. Partly sunny tomorrow, a high near 50. Maybe a shower tomorrow night. And for the weekend, with a return to sunshine, high temperatures pretty close to 50 degrees.
It's 46 right now.
Hey, it's Amanda with another new Wisco 411, and the diverse and resilient Appleton Room to Be Safe is hosting a monthly drop-in night for LGBTQ plus adults, which will have social connection, fun, and resource sharing, and best of all, support. These meetings are available once a month from now through April. They are completely free and unstructured, so you can come when you want and leave when you want. If you're interested, go to WGBW.FM and click events to learn more.
Ready for the ultimate getaway? Picture this, a cozy cabin in Wisconsin's Northwoods, surrounded by nature's beauty, crystal clear lakes, and endless adventure. Be it fishing, boating, snowmobiling, or just kicking back by a campfire under the stars. This is relaxation like never before. Cook your own meals, enjoy private docks, and even bring your furry friends along for the ride. It's a perfect spot for family fun, a romantic retreat, and more. What kind of trip are you planning? Book your Northwoods vacation rental at simpleLifeRentals.com.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
This week on The Revolution, we've got my...
It's time for the Nite Popcorn Pick of the Week, where we recommend a movie that you'll either enjoy or won't. Here's your host, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the Nite Popcorn Pick of the Week. Always exciting. I know everybody is waiting with bated breath to find out what movie they should watch. And we have a great guest tonight ready to make the pick. He joins us on the stream. He is a nationally syndicated columnist, and he runs a column, his own column, called Humor Hotel, which you can find at Tribune Content Agency. He joins us now to make... Wow, I'm having a lot of trouble, Greg. You might have to take over.
Yeah, do I need to jump in? Usually I don't have to jump in till the end.
Greg Schwem, ladies and gentlemen. You know what it is? The problem is I'm alone all day. I really don't talk to people some days until I get here. So I have to find...
That is so weird. I feel the same way sometimes.
Really? It's good to have you, buddy. How are you?
I'm feeling great and doing great. How are you?
Doing well. Other than my articulation problems that I'm doing just fine.
Yeah. There are worse problems to have.
That's true. So how you been?
I've been good, but you know what? You talk about problems. So I have I found out like 2 weeks ago, I have a small tear in my Achilles. Okay. So they of course, the answer to everything when you get over a certain age is physical therapy. Okay. That's the answer to everything. So I'm in physical therapy and it's working. And I had a really good session today. And on the way out, my therapist, they like trade you off sometimes. And she goes, okay, you're going to be with David on Monday, who's standing there. And she goes, he has a baby tear. He has a baby tear at his Achilles. She actually used the word baby. It's like,
that's a clinical term.
It was such an crushing ego. It's like, you're killing me for an hour. Then you go, it reminded me of that Brian Regan bit about what's your rate your pain, about why don't you just take a Flintstones chewable and cut it in half, and I'll just. So anyway,
injured, Greg.
So I'm feeling good physically, mentally, not so well.
Yeah, that's a hit. But you know what? There, like you said, there are worse things.
Yes.
But that's the knees and the Achilles.
Yes.
I am a fiend about stretching out my calves because that scares a couple friends of mine have had that done, and the rehabilitation process is long.
Oh, I know. They basically told me, they're like, if you don't get here and start working out, they basically said you were sitting on a time bomb because if it ruptures, you're screwed for like 8 months. Oh
no!
So that would be the only time that I would hope that Chicago winters last 8 months. If that
really.
happened. But yeah. So anyway, back on the mend. It's not stopping me from working, which is good. Not stopping me from traveling, which is good, particularly for the weekend. Yeah.
You don't need an Achilles anyway. You're writing books and columns and telling jokes. It's like it's a bonus at this point to have two Achilles
to be mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, so this is fun. It's great to have you here, Greg. What is your favorite? Do you have a favorite Val Kilmer movie?
I do. Well, I jumped in about 10 minutes before when you were kind of reading chats and people, and everybody was saying, most people were saying Tombstone, Top Gun. I did not hear The Doors mentioned. I'm sure it was. That is my favorite Val Kilmer movie. And I mean, the movie, it was a little, it was kind of all over the map. I wouldn't say it was one of Oliver Stone's finest movies, but what I loved about it is he just so immersed himself in that role. And it was like, up until that point, I'd never seen a Val Kilmer transformation quite like that.
Well said.
And it was just like, it was one of those things like, wait a minute, who's going to play Jim Morrison? Val Kilmer? Right? It was just like, no. And then he did it. And you're just like, honestly, I really became more of a Doors fan. I was kind of an on again, off again Doors fan. Like in college, there was always some guy blasting the Doors in his dorm or in the frat house or something. That reminds me, you want to hear a great Doors story, a great real Doors story. Do you know Mark Roberts?
Yeah.
You know Mark Roberts?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so Mark Roberts, Chicago comedian, went on to have a lot of success. I think he was one of the producers on like How I Met Your Mother or something like that.
Mike and Molly was his.
Is that what it was?
He
okay.
created Mike and Molly.
Yeah. So I worked with him at a club once, and he's telling me a story about the day the Doors movie came out. He's in a bookstore, and it's one of these in LA, and it's one of these weird sort of avant-garde bookstores, and there happens to be a piano in the back. Okay. Why you would have a piano in the bookstore, I don't know, but whatever. You own the bookstore, you put it away. In walks Ray Manzarek. Okay.
Oh, wow.
This is the day the movie came out. And, Mark Roberts is like, I don't know what to say. And he finally walks up to him and he's like, big fan, love your music, the usual stuff. What did you think of the movie? And he said, Ray Manzarek walks back to the piano, sits down, plays the beginning of Light My Fire, and slams the piano, slams whatever holds the keys down and goes, oh no, here's the way he did it. He played it and then he goes, hey you guys, I think I just wrote the opening to Light My Fire. And then he slammed the top down and he goes, yeah, that's the way it happened. And stormed out because that was in the movie. Like, hey, you guys, don't bother me. I'm coming up with a lot, the beginning of Light My Fire.
Wow, that is pretty cool. So
I was just that is like one of the coolest show business stories I have ever heard.
That's a great one,
isn't it? Yeah.
And was that the only back and forth he had with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he just triggered him. To me, it's like, okay, you triggered him, but you're probably going to get that question a lot, at least in the next week, at least till we decide if this movie's good or not. So, but yeah, apparently this guy has a lot of issues, Ray Manzarek, with the way the movie, with how he was portrayed in the movie.
Here's my Mark Roberts story. Oh, there's a few. And I don't know Mark well, but I really like him, and he's a brilliant comedian.
He is a brilliant comedian.
He was in a film called Bulletproof with Damon Wayans, and I happened to be in L.A. before I moved there, and I was staying with Paul Gilmartin, so the three of us, and Paul is tight with Mark, so Mark says, hey, this movie opens today. Come with me. I want to see it in a packed theater, because I think it was Mark's first big movie role opposite Damon Wayans, and we go to Universal Theaters. We're the only three people.
Oh, no.
And Mark's jokes the entire time were just like, oh, it's just so funny. Mark's a good guy. He's incredibly talented.
Exactly.
So, all right. So, Greg, let's talk movies. Greg Schwem is here to make the Popcorn Pick of the Week. Greg is an author. We'll talk about his books in just a minute. You can also read his work at Humor Hotel. He's part of Tribune Content Agency. Check it out. He puts articles out periodically, and they are great. So he's here to make the Popcorn Pick of the Week. Where do you like to watch movies, Greg? Are you a theater guy, or do you like to stay home and stream them?
Yeah, I cannot remember the last time I sat in a theater and watched a movie. I want to say it was
Shame on
I want
you.
to say it was. I know, it's horrible. I want to say it was Top Gun 2. But that's 2-3 years ago, and it's so funny, Pete, because you just don't. When I find a movie that I think, okay, let's go see that in the theater. Let's make a night out of it. And I live in Chicago, and then I pull it up. I'm like, where's this? It's never near me. I mean, it's like I don't know. Maybe it's in the city that the 16 screen multiplexes aren't as prevalent as you think they would be, or they're out way west of the city and so forth. So I think that was the last one. So it's not that I don't like to watch movies in the theater. They're just not really accessible. So I usually stream them, and my biggest challenge is staying awake. And
we talked about this last time.
Yes, we did, and I wrote a column about it.
That's right.
Yeah. So if I can stay awake, and I don't care how good it is, I'm probably still going to nod off a little bit. But if I can then come back to it, if I fall asleep twice, then I'm not interested. If I only fall asleep once for a few minutes, it's a damn good movie.
There are times I've gotten up, I have a show on, but I'm falling asleep. It's a long day, whatever, and I'll turn the TV off, and I'll get up, and I'll go brush my teeth or whatever, and then I'll go, I'm awake now. And I'll go back out and turn the TV back on, get the Roku going, set all that up 5 minutes later, and I'll stick with it sometimes. But I hear you. Do you have a favorite snack, Greg, when you watch movies at home?
You know what? I have always stuck to popcorn. When I do, my couch doesn't love it, but I don't sit there and I guess in the theater for a while. In the theater, I was a snow caps guy.
Nice!
Yes.
Nice pull.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not something you probably get a lot. I'm not a chewy guy. Like I'm not Milk Duds or Dots or anything like that. Nothing that could cause something to pop out halfway through. So it's not movies are expensive enough without oh man, now I got an $800 dental bill tacked onto that.
Well, and you don't want to work that hard either. It's like that's a lot of work with the Milk Dud. You probably burn a few more calories, but still.
My ex was a big Milk Duds girl, and she would buy them, and I'm just like, she's like, want some? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good with my snow caps, and you can have your Twizzlers too.
Ooh, I don't mind Twizzlers, Greg. I will say that. But
same concept though.
Yeah,
true. Gotta work hard.
It's a lot of work. I'm with you on the popcorn. Movie theater popcorn I try to stay away from because they say it's so unhealthy, or it can be. And I'm with you on the movies. I always strike out, like I live in a smaller town, so I'm limited in what movies I can see. Right. But I'm envious of you living in Chicago, where I used to live, the amount of independent theaters there.
Yeah.
And movies you can see that you can't see in small towns is pretty cool.
You're right. And I need to start taking advantage of that more, like places like the Music Box Theater. I got to start going. The Music Box, believe it or not, is where I saw the original Meet the Parents that Greg Gliena wrote. I happened to be in the city, and there were so many Chicago. Emo had a big role in that, and I think Seagrin was in that. And I remember
Chicago comics. Yeah.
Right. And I remember watching it there and thinking it was hysterical. And then of course, it really took off. But
went on to become Meet the Parents. Here's a fun fact. If you're willing to take a road trip to Madison, Wisconsin this weekend for the Wisconsin Film Festival, I'll be there. I represent PBS there. I host Q&As and introduce films. Greg his film is featured there. The original Meet the Parents. It's playing at the Barrymore Theater, a great old theater in Madison, Saturday afternoon. Wow. I love that film. I didn't start writing with Greg until after that had come out, and I've never seen it with a crowd, so I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, and what was the title of it? It wasn't Meet the Parents.
It was Meet the Parents.
It was? I didn't think it was. I thought it had a different title.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so let's do this before we, because I want to talk to you about a few other things too. Sure. Conrad, are you ready? I think it's time for our guest, Greg Schwems, after this very short drum roll. Popcorn Pick of the Week. Greg.
Yes.
What is your Popcorn Pick of the Week?
Okay, and I know it's going to sound weird based on what we were talking about and what I like and so forth, but if it's on, if I'm like scrolling or, on The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That is, yeah.
Nice.
They did tell me, Conrad said it didn't have to be a current movie.
No, yeah,
No.
whatever.
Yes, and that one, I know it sounds like a little weird for a guy my age. There are so many. Have you seen it?
Years ago, I would have to give it a rewatch. Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked
you
it,
do.
but I don't. Yeah.
Here's. I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons I like this movie. Number one, I love movies that can take an industry or a topic that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
Okay? In this case, it's fashion, and somehow you explain it so easily that by halfway through the movie, you're like, okay, I get this. Another movie like that. I thought Wall Street. I went into that movie. I don't know anything about trading floors and kind of stuff, but the way the way the movie played out and the scenes on the floor and the back and forth, you're like, okay, I get it. I get it why these guys are yelling all the time. So by halfway through the movie, you're like, wow, this is really a screwed up industry.
Yeah.
That's one layer of it.
All right, let's get the next one. We got to do a very short
Okay.
break, Greg, and then we'll come back and hear the rest of that.
Sure.
It's the popcorn pick of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
From Greg Schwem. We'll be back in just a minute with more from Greg. And this is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It's happened to me, and I'm telling you, it's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, you can help Mino and the Mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number one? That's up to you. Top craft pick creators include Kerrigan Brothers Winery in Kaukauna, Stillmake Brewing Company in Green Bay, Old Station 31 Spirits in Dale, and Old Bavarian Brewing Company in Appleton. Vote for your favorite now by logging on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick. When you vote, you'll enter a random drawing to win $250 in gift cards from participating craft creators. Don't wait. Voting ends Friday, April 18th. Log on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick and vote right now. Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick, drafting Northeast Wisconsin's finest one sip at a time. Winter is out and winning is in. It's our Break into Spring statewide text to win contest on your local Civic Media radio station. Your daily shot at a Chula Vista getaway, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, or $100 cash. And every entry gets you closer to the grand prize. A brand new Verlo Queen mattress set complete with a mattress, sheets, protector, and pillows. Download the Civic Media app from the App Store or Google Play Store. Choose your stations, listen in, then get set to text to win. It's time to break into spring with WGBW.
2025 marks 50 years since the Vietnam War ended, and WGBW would like to thank all those who served and sacrificed during this difficult period. This message made possible by Pool and Spa Warehouse, an innovator in patented spa therapy to relieve pain and stiffness and promote healthier lifestyles. When you purchase a spa from them, you're choosing a company renowned for its commitment to innovation and exceptional.
Hey, this is John Grise, also Uncle Rico, and you're listening to Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Gonna be some sweet sounds coming down on the night shift.
Welcome back. This is Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. Checking in on the text line, AJ from the 608 says, "Hey, Pete and Conrad, my favorite Val Kilmer movie is definitely Willow." A lot of votes for Willow tonight. Thank you, AJ. Brian from Green Bay says, Marinette has more theater access than Chicago. I love you, Brian. I love your text. I don't think you've ever been to Marinette or Chicago, if that's your statement. But wishful thinking. I wish they did. Keep those texts coming. What is your favorite Val Kilmer movie, folks? That's our question of the night. We just got our popcorn pick of the week from our friend, comedian and syndicated columnist Greg Schwem, who chose The Devil Wears Prada, a great movie. And you were talking about why you like it. It was because it exposed you to this industry. I always thought you were a great dresser, Greg, but you say you don't know anything about
you can
fashion.
tell the purple with the just again. This is the physical therapy outfit.
Okay.
And I did ditch the life preserver, the Back to the Future life preserver once I got into therapy, and I just went with the Northwestern shirt. So yeah,
Representing,
so there you go.
Oh,
okay,
that's pretty good.
All right. So anyway, but yeah. Now let me tell you another reason. Here's the other reason I really like of many. Number one, huge Anne Hathaway fan. Love her.
Oh yeah.
I just enjoy looking at her, and I think she's made some great choices.
Great actor,
but
yeah.
Meryl Streep, I think I'm watching this movie, and every time I watch it, I think, how much fun did she have making this movie? You know, I mean, this is a woman who, you know, she's one of the greatest actresses of our time, of all time, I think. You know, she's transformed herself into everything. She's won a bunch of Oscars and so forth. But I just think, and I think it shows, but, you know, to get a role where you're just like, I am just going to die. I'm just going to have so much fun doing this.
Right.
And you could tell, I think, when you watch that movie, there's probably a lot of scenes where they were probably thinking that wasn't written, but let's do it this way. And all Stanley Tucci's amazing, and it's so
Love
funny.
Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, another guy. You know, I mean, there's great actors in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it gets disregarded. It's like, oh, that's the Greg, you like that? The women's fashion movie.
Hey, no judgment here, buddy. This is
not at all. Yeah, not by
zone.
me, but yeah. So, yeah, okay. Didn't know you were into that, Greg. But I'll check
great
that movie
movie's
out.
a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So many great performances and so many layers and a great ending too. You know, it's got a great sort of a moral. Like
That's a great choice.
Be yourself.
Excellent choice. And Stanley Tucci, my favorite Stanley Tucci role. He's done so much great work. I love him. He has a very small part in the movie Quick Change with Bill Murray, where he plays a low-level mobster. He crushes his scene. And then in the movie Big Night, did you see that?
I did not.
Okay. Tony Shalhoub, a Green Bay native, and Stanley Tucci are brothers who own a restaurant, and they think, I think it's Tito Puente is supposed to show up at the restaurant later. So the whole movie is these two brothers arguing. It's so great. And they argue about the risotto, and it's just,
wow.
The movie will make you hungry, and it's a great movie.
Did you ever see The Lovely Bones?
Oh, yes.
Mark Wahlberg, and Stanley Tucci's the guy that killed his daughter. I mean, he plays a creepy guy and crushes that one. And you're like, okay, that guy and the Devil Wears Prada guy, yikes. I mean, talk about range.
Definitely. And Meryl Streep has won 3 Oscars, 1 supporting and 2 lead actress roles.
Right.
She had.
let me see if I can guess them.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Out of Africa.
No.
Shoot. Okay, now I got Sophie's Choice.
Sophie's Choice is correct.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Best supporting actress.
Best supporting, and Silkwood.
No, I would not have guessed this either. It's The Iron Lady from 2012.
Oh yeah, no, who saw that one? You know,
Meryl Streep,
Margaret Thatcher. Yeah, but she gets nominated like every year.
She's great. She is considered, I think, probably the best actress of our time, at least in America.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's all great stuff. Great choice, Greg. Let's talk about the last time you were here. You spoke about your book, Turning Gut Punches into Punchlines, A Comedian's Journey Through Cancer, Divorce, and Other. I can't read my own writing. I have it.
Hilarious stuff.
Hilarious stuff. There you go. Comedian. How is that selling, and where can people find it?
You know what? You can get it on. Obviously, you can get it on Amazon. But now it's kind of weird. Unless you're a book author, you don't know how the whole book buying business works. But you can now walk into any bookstore, okay? And of course, bookstores compete with Amazon. So,
right.
If you have a favorite bookstore and you want to support it, just go in there and say, I've heard about this book. I would like, can you order a copy? And they will be able to pull it up on a computer because it's now listed with a service called Ingram. And Ingram is basically any book that is not Amazon. It's where all the bookstores, all the libraries order their books from. Like Barnes and Noble. Yeah, so you can go in there, and now that it just got listed on there about 2 weeks ago. So now I'm able to walk into any bookstore when I'm on the road or anything and just say, hey, I'm Greg Schwem. I wrote this book. I would love it if you could carry it in the store. I would love it if you could order a copy and just put it up there. So
hey, can we keep you for a few minutes, Greg? After
I would
the
love
news,
that.
love to ask you about a couple of your articles.
Sure.
Check out Greg's book and try. Nothing against Jeff Bezos, but these are places that are trying to keep money from him, another billionaire that can't catch a break.
Agreed. Yep.
So we'll be right back with more with Greg Schwem on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. So great to have you with me, folks, on this Thursday night on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Art, gardening, and my personal favorite, crocheting. I'm Lisa Hale.
I'm Terry Barr. Do you have a hobby? My leisurely fun is so good for you on the next New Wisco weekend.
Saturday mornings at 8, Sundays at 11 on WGBW and WISS. The Todd Alba Show.
Rob in Port Edwards.
I've been canvassing for over a month. My encouragement to each and every listener out there, if you are passionate about this, and I hope you are, talk to people and encourage them and give them straight information. What you really don't want to do is be confrontational. But if you respect these people, odds are they're going to say, hey, this guy is, he's square. He's got a point there.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. U.S. stock markets in free fall the day after President Trump announced sweeping tariffs. One of their worst single-day losses in years. The Dow plunging 1,679 points. And as 401ks tank, President Trump this evening on Air Force One.
Well, I mean, it's to be expected where this is a patient that was very sick.
Canada responding to the Trump administration's 25% tariff on foreign autos by placing a tariff for the same amount on U.S. cars bought in Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney.
3 different sets of U.S. tariffs remain in place and will continue to pose significant threats to Canadian workers and Canadian businesses.
One person reported dead in Bucks County, Pennsylvania after being struck by an Amtrak train along the busy Northeast Corridor. A stabbing rampage this afternoon in Northeast Washington, D.C. 7 people transported to hospitals. The man with the knife also stabbing himself. Police describe him as being in an altered mental state. This is ABC News.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. A big upset in Northeast Wisconsin when challenger Gordon Hintz defeated incumbent John Damel in the race for Winnebago County Executive. Damel came to the county executive position as an independent in 2021. He made his concession statement on social media.
Christ is my king, and he allowed me to be a shepherd to the poor and the addict and the lonely and the hungry for the last 4 years. And it was the greatest honor, one of the greatest honors of my life, to serve people and to just cut through it and do the right thing.
Hintze said one of his priorities will be to increase communication with the county board and other governments throughout Winnebago County. Dr. Jill Underley, coming off of her successful re-election bid as State Superintendent of Public Instruction, spoke at the first of several Joint Finance Committee public budget hearings in Kaukauna yesterday. Among the items included in Governor Tony Evers' biennial budget for Wisconsin schools are funds to increase the reimbursement rate for special education efforts and provide sustainable funding for school districts, free school meals for all, and more youth mental health support. More budget hearings have been scheduled throughout the state. De Pere authorities issued a shelter-in-place order and placed Sybil Hopp School on lockdown this morning when a man barricaded himself inside of a home and threatened a woman with a firearm. Police were called to the home on 76th Place near Patriot Park at about 7:45 this morning. De Pere police say the situation is now resolved. The woman is safe and not injured, and a man has been taken into custody. The shelter-in-place and lockdown orders are lifted. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
Blackwell may be leaving the Badgers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Men's college basketball, Wisconsin guard John Blackwell says he'll enter the NBA draft this summer. Blackwell, a sophomore, would be eligible to return to the Badgers if not selected by a team. He made that announcement today on Twitter. Baseball, the Brewers opening a 4-game series tonight against the Cincinnati Reds in Milwaukee. The Crew with a 3-2 win in extra innings yesterday to beat the Royals. A great performance by Freddie Peralta for 8 innings. How much does that help the bullpen? I asked closer Trevor McGill.
Yeah, I mean, you said it great. You picked up the bullpen. For him to go out there and do what he did, that's just huge. I mean, setting the tone, being a leader. Couldn't be more proud of him.
NBA, the Bucks on the road tonight against the 76ers. The Bucks holding on to 6th place in the Eastern Conference behind the Pistons.
We're so close to being an incredible offensive team. I mean, we got a chance to break out and make a hell of a run here. We really do.
That's Bucks head coach Doc Rivers. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the low 30s. Partly sunny tomorrow, a high near 50. Maybe a shower tomorrow night. And for the weekend, with a return to sunshine, high temperatures pretty close to 50 degrees.
It's 46 right now.
The Todd Alba Show.
Trevi, you sent me something this week on Trump tariffs that are going on and how this really impacts people specifically in Wisconsin. Talk a little bit about this, please.
10% of the jobs in Wisconsin are going to be negatively impacted. 8 out of 10 of those people voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's a killer. He's basically saying, I don't
Screw you. I mean, really?
Yeah.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local civic media radio station and on the app. Reviewing the week's legal news with a friend of the court.
Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. I haven't missed one. Outstanding. Just like being in school.
It has been a week in the areas of law and government and the aspiration for justice in America. As always, I am delighted. I am honored that you have chosen to spend some of your weekend time with me in discussion.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Dom Salvia.
Next time, James Santel on whether Judge Boasberg will find the Trump administration in contempt. Plus, we celebrate you, the audience, on the final Dom.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who considers a silver medal a participation award, Pete Schwaba.
Totally is. Welcome back to Night Light. I'm Pete Schwaba. We are kicking off hour number 2. Good to have you with me on this Thursday night. John Corwin, the winner of the Bucks. I've lost it again. The Bucks Fan Challenge, sponsored by Michelob, will be here at 7:35. We're going to talk to John about his experience with Brandon Jennings on the floor at Pfizer Forum. It sounds like it was an absolute blast and a very cool thing that the Bucks did. So we'll celebrate that at 7:35. Right now, Greg Schwem is with me. I have to do a quick bit of business here, Greg. And Greg, you're welcome to enter this contest. So listen, because this could affect you.
Okay.
It's our Break into Spring Text to Win statewide contest. Your daily chance to win a Chula Vista getaway, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, or $100 in cash. Plus, every entry puts you into our grand prize drawing of a brand new queen mattress set from Verlo that includes a mattress, sheet set, mattress protector, and pillows. Times for Text to Win are 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. All you have to do is download the Civic Media app to play. Click on the text icon and text in the word of the day right after you get it, and you are all set and eligible for the daily prize and the grand prize. Good luck, folks. Our question of the night, folks, is what is your favorite Val Kilmer movie? Val Kilmer passed away Tuesday at 65 from complications due to pneumonia. Left behind a pretty incredible resume. So we've had some great, I would say Tombstone, Conrad. Is that our winner?
Yeah, I would say so far. Yeah, definitely Tombstone is the one that sticks out.
Greg likes The Doors. I think we've had maybe one other person say The Doors. He was great as Jim Morrison, but let us know. We'll read your text on the radio. Stream us, text us on the app or the old-fashioned radio. Greg.
Yes.
Schwem is my guest. He is the creator of the Humor Hotel. You can read all of Greg's articles. He's a nationally syndicated columnist at Tribune Content Agencies. His book, Turning Gut Punches into Punchlines, a comedian's journey through cancer, divorce, and other hilarious stuff. I just caught that's a kind of
you see,
that's a horrible thing.
That's the hook right there. And then
right.
You got to that part the first time,
Wow.
and you're like, and I can't read my own writing. You know,
I couldn't.
That was the part you left out.
That was a joke killer. I know.
It was so totally.
That's a great title. A very clever title.
Thank you.
It is available. Go to Barnes & Noble. If you have to buy it on Amazon, okay. But there are other ways to get the book, folks, and put some money in someone else's pocket.
Right.
So, Greg, we were talking about, let's talk about a couple of your articles. I really enjoyed, help me with this word, because I wrote it down phonetically. Solomangraphobia. Am I saying that right?
I don't know. I don't know if you're saying it right.
Okay.
I had to. It is people who are afraid of dining alone, and the only reason I put that in the article, I actually Googled like, is there, is like basically is this a thing? Do people suffer from this? And that word popped up, so I threw it in the article, but I'd never heard of it. But
I love it.
Yeah, the gist of the article was how I really enjoy eating breakfast in a restaurant by myself. I mean, as a comedian, I'm on the road a lot. I've gotten very used to dining alone. It's not something that bothers me. I think it does bother a lot of people. I think it used to bother people more before they could hide behind their phone.
Yeah.
Having your phone and all of a sudden you're not dining by yourself. You're working, you're conducting business. Right. So, which is, I get it. I think that's an easy out, but I don't know what it is about breakfast. I don't know what it is about that first meal or the coffee or something, and I don't think that if you're in a diner by yourself at breakfast time, anybody ever looks at you as weird. I think you still might get that a little bit from people. Maybe not if you're sitting at the bar, but if you're sitting at a table. But I think if you're sitting at a table for one and you're eating breakfast, I don't think people find that odd. And that was what the piece was about. And
that is a very nuanced look at
loneliness.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's something that's interesting. I never really thought about that before.
And it's
I will say, Greg, I like to eat breakfast alone. I can't that early in the morning. I have trouble with people. I don't know what they do when they get up. It's tough for me to watch people drink milk and have eggs in the same meal. I have all these weird quirks about breakfast only, though.
Right. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, but to me, I want to, if I'm going to eat breakfast alone and sort of take in the solitude and just sort of at peace with myself, it has to be before, like I mentioned in the article, on weekdays, it doesn't matter. All right. But on weekends,
Okay.
if you get there a little bit too late, then you're dealing with the post-church crowd, the Gen Zs, the new Gen Z parents out with the stroller and the dog that they're going to bring into any restaurant, no matter what the code is. The dog's coming in there too. To me, that kills the mood.
It's
and I don't
a
mean
service dog. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sure it is.
Right. The service is I can't leave the dog home for an hour. That's the service.
Exactly.
But, so, I don't know. I just think there's something very, and if you haven't, in all seriousness, and to your listeners, if you've never tried it, do it. Just eat breakfast alone and see how you feel. Go at 8 o'clock, 8:30, order something, order your eggs. You should be able to get out of there for under $50, and if you cut it to 2 eggs. And I think you'll feel very, very refreshed when you come out.
It's weird. Like, I think you're right about eating breakfast alone, but I do think if there's a wait and you're by yourself in a wait, that is humiliating.
No way. You're right.
Yeah,
because now you are competing. You're competing with the people I just mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to say one. How many was it again? One.
Right.
Everybody looks at you. It's like
everybody hears that.
Oh,
right.
This guy got no action last night, or he did, and she bailed first thing, and he's here,
With me,
That's
that
great.
could be either. Yeah.
Appreciate your honesty. Let's talk about your other one, Dogs Win. I love this article. Why have the dogs won?
Well, that was kind of what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Is, I was out with my niece and her husband just had a baby. He's 5 months old. And I was over there for dinner and they said, it was a really warm day in Chicago, a couple of days, one of those fake spring days. And you have in Wisconsin too. And, and everybody's out. And they said, we go to this park and it's just mobbed with kids and parents, but which is fine. It's everybody's having a good time. And she says to me, she goes, I guess we better go wait in line for the swings. And that alone was like, wait, you have to wait for playground equipment? That boggled my mind. And there was like 3 people waiting. And what prompted the article was the next day I happened to be walking to an appointment and I passed this park that I'd never passed before. And it was bigger than this swing park with the line. And it was just for dogs. There's no playground equipment. It's huge.
Oh,
and I'm like,
funny.
this is there's kids waiting for 45 minutes to do something so basic, ride on a swing. And yet you in Chicago, you planners, you people have said, no, we don't need more swings. We really need some place for the dogs to romp freely. And
We're happy no matter what anyway. So
and then the next day I was at a very upscale restaurant with a friend of mine having dinner, and in walks there was like a table of 10 that was sitting there, just waiting. You knew it was going to be occupied eventually, and in walks like 4 couples, five couples, and one woman is holding a dog, and
that's so weird.
I'm just like, there's not a single kid in the restaurant,
Yeah.
but they're holding a dog, and the emotional support animal thing. All I could think of, I said this to my buddy. I go, if you're out with a bunch of friends and you have to bring your dog into the restaurant for whatever reason, what the hell does that say about your friends? It's like, you guys, I like you, you're fun, but you're not I still need the mini golden doodle.
I need Rex.
I was
That's
just
funny.
blown away. So I think dogs are high pawing each other, whatever dogs do. Just like we did it. We totally recreated zoning in Chicago.
Our plan is working.
Yes.
Those are just some of the articles you can read of Greg's. Check out his work at Humor Hotel. It's on Tribune Content Agency. Just Google Greg Schwem and Humor Hotel. Also check out his book, Turning Gut Punches into Punchlines, a comedian's journey through cancer, divorce, and other hilarious stuff. There it is right there. Buddy, thank you so much. Always fun having you on the show. And thank you for a great popcorn pick, too.
Thank you, and I'll be at the Port Washington room this Saturday night. So if anybody would like to, yes,
that was like the whole reason we had you on. And
yeah,
I
and
on the popcorn
I'm
pick.
either
Right.
a really good guest or a really bad one. But can you please plug Saturday night up in Port Washington at some point? I'll be signing copies of the book up there too after the show.
Fabulous!
Okay?
So it's Memories Ballroom.
Yeah.
This Saturday night in
8
Port
o'clock.
Washington.
Yes,
Great
one
shows.
show, book signing after.
Oh, check it out, folks. You won't be disappointed. Greg's hilarious, and it's a great venue, too. So,
Yeah,
knock
it
him
is.
dead, Greg. Break a
All right,
leg.
thank you so much, Pete. Pleasure.
Okay, buddy.
All right,
that
take
is Greg Schwem. Always fun to have Greg on the show. He's got it's kind of fun, like when you have people on that are pushing stuff. But Greg has got like articles, a live comedy show, a book. It's kind of emasculating.
I don't think I'm scared of eating alone.
No,
I can go to a restaurant and eat by myself.
Dinner too.
Dinner, lunch, breakfast.
Without your phone, though. Can you do it without looking at your phone? Because I'm with you. I'll go in and I don't mind eating by myself. I'd rather.
I mean, I don't think I've like just mainly been on my phone the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just be watching. Usually they'll have like ESPN or something on.
Right.
And I'll be watching that. But
it's not really alone. I mean, it's kind of alone, but I hear what he's saying. You know, I always sit at the bar.
Yeah.
Brian from Green Bay, that's the 920, folks. He says Top Gun 2. Favorite Val Kilmer movie. Steve from Florida. That's Steve is in Florida, but he's also the 920. He says Tombstone is my favorite, but I got to say he was great in all of his movies. Totally agree, Steve. He was a treasure when it came to acting, for sure. Okay, we're going to play, we're going to read some more texts when we come back. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Wisconsin Film Festival. And the Badgers just signed somebody new. We can go over that. We got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
And then John Corwin will be here at 7:35 telling us all about the Michelob Bucks Fan Challenge. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
For only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Maggie Dawn Show.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In the April 1st spring election, Susan Crawford won the incredibly expensive race for Wisconsin Supreme Court. And she didn't just win, but won decisively, gaining 55% of the vote, a 10-point margin ahead of her opponent, Brad Schimmel. It is a remarkable victory. And in so many ways, this race became a referendum on Elon Musk, from his prominent position in the Trump administration to the tens of millions of dollars he put towards backing Brad Schimmel in this race. And Wisconsin voters spoke decisively, rejecting Musk at this critical moment. All 72 counties in Wisconsin shifted to the left from last fall's election. That includes Brown County, home to Green Bay, where Musk held a rally just days before the election, handing out million-dollar checks. The sweeping results we're seeing are going to send a powerful message that will resonate nationally. Wisconsin voters spoke loud and clear, saying, "We cannot be bought."
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us. Keeping you connected to your local community with good news and great conversation. Here's Terry Barr with the Civic Media Radio Network.
He's delivering on the promise he made last season. Packers quarterback Jordan Love pledged to donate new sports cleats to entire teams in need this spring for every touchdown he scored. Now, 26 teams across the state are getting those new cleats. Green Bay News Bureau Chief Lisa Hale explains Love's goal.
The Love for Cleats campaign aligns with the Hands of Love Foundation's overall mission to encourage children from all backgrounds to engage in sports, promoting physical and mental well-being.
The average price of decent sports cleats runs around $150. Softball, baseball, football, and soccer teams, including Marinette, Oconto, Howard Swamico, Green Bay East and West, Appleton West, and Kewanee, are included.
Welcome back to Nite Lite. We are zipping through a Thursday night show here, folks. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me. I want to admit, I want to put out a blanket apology to everyone I swap text messages with on a daily basis. I often use voice. I know you've been confused before. I've sent you stuff and it's absolute gibberish, and I get that. I feel technology is so advanced, I can send a voice message, use text, voice text, and it will pick it up instead of the radio. Well, here, Rob Thomas, our friend, Madison film critic, I'm trying to get Rob on the show next week to give us a rundown of the Wisconsin Film Festival. So he said, can we do maybe a pre-record because he's seeing movies every night? I said, sure. Here's my response to Rob saying, I can do an interview, a pre-record from my car. And I said, here's my response. Tell me what you make of this. News with a friend of the excellent. Maybe I can get there a little earlier by 4:45. I'll keep you posted. Thanks, Rob. The news must have been playing in here.
Yeah.
News with a friend of the excellent, maybe. God, I am a mess. The Wisconsin Film Festival opens today, folks. Get your tickets. They have great restored films, guests, great selections, great venues. If you do happen to go to the Wisconsin Film Festival, stop by the Barrymore Theater on Saturday afternoon. I'll be moderating, introducing, and doing a Q&A for Meet the Parents, the original Meet the Parents written by Greg Leon. It's going to be a really fun afternoon. And it's a very funny film. You can see where all the craziness regarding that franchise started with Greg's original film, financed by comedian Emo Phillips. So we'll do that. And then if you're in the area, if you're in the Madison area, check out the Nite Lite beer. A Nite Lite inspired pale ale, an IPA. It's called Hazed on Radio. Brewmaster Dave Hansen created it. And we worked together on it a little bit. I say together. I just poured hops in to a big vat, and I didn't stir it because you don't even have to stir it. You just pour it in, and Dave was there and took a picture, and it was great fun. So check out Hazed on Radio if you go to Flick's Brewhouse in East Town Mall for the film festival. The Nite Lite inspired beer. But great stuff happening in Madison this week. So if you're in the Madison area, definitely check out the Wisconsin Film Festival. Milwaukee Film Festival, right around the corner. We'll talk to Matt Miller about that in a week or so. So, yeah, the Badgers have they've got a new player, and they're going to lose a player.
Well, I mean, today also John Blackwell is declared for the NFL draft, NBA draft. But also he is still in talks, with Wisconsin, that if he doesn't get drafted, he can go back to Wisconsin.
I'm glad he can do that. I really can't. I mean, is he going to get drafted?
I think it's too early for him. I think he should have one more year at least before he even declares.
He's a good player, but
yeah,
I don't see him going like in the first round.
No, I don't see him in the second round either yet. But I think if he stays one more year, he has potential.
Yeah, I hope he stays.
But yeah, Andrew Rohde, I believe.
Is it Rohde or Rode?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
He's 5'2". That makes me nervous.
He's played for Virginia. This is his senior season. He's coming back home. He's from Milwaukee.
Yeah. Is he a guard?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That helps.
Yeah.
I felt like Tanjay was like our Russell Wilson of basketball. Like we had this great opportunity with Tanjay coming here.
Oh, he was a great player.
Didn't really work out, but yeah, he was. It was good to have him at least for a year. This is kind of a cool thing. I've been watching the show Adolescence on Netflix. It's all the rage. It's a top-rated show on, I think, of all the streamers. I could be wrong about that. Definitely Netflix, but I think it's like kicking butt on all the streaming platforms. Really gripping, riveting, poignant. I don't know what the proper adjective is, but they're going to show this film, and it's not a film. It's a 4-part series. They are going to show this to anyone who wants to see it in the UK, in schools. Parents, children. It's all about cyberbullying and toxic masculinity. It is a really good show, and it takes its time. Every episode is one camera shot. They never cut away, and they follow the cops into the classroom. Then they're interviewing the kid with a social worker, and it's about a kid who's 13. His name is Jamie, and he is accused of killing a classmate, a girl named Katie. So I'm almost at the 4th episode. They're long episodes, but they're really good. So I thought that was interesting. When you create something, and Stephen Graham was one of the creators. He plays Jamie's dad on the show. And they did this to provoke these conversations so the kids could have better resources for dealing with online bullying and toxic masculinity. Very good show. Very excited to see how it ends. Well, not excited. I'm anticipating that the end will be as riveting as the show has been. So,
speaking of school,
yeah,
it's National Tweed Day.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on tweed?
I have tweed pajamas. No,
that does not sound comfortable.
I know the tweed are the patches on the, but if everything on the outfit was tweed, it'd be like wearing a burlap sack. It's not a good. I don't know. I'm not into tweed, I guess.
So
is what I'm saying.
When I saw it was National Tweed Day, it reminded me of one scene, one episode in How I Met Your Mother. It's so funny.
You wouldn't happen to have that scene.
I pulled it because it's hilarious. So I'll play that.
Tweed, textile of the eunuch.
You know, I've always wondered why those tweed jackets have elbow patches.
Because the people who wear them are constantly going, geez, why can't I get laid?
He leans forward on the patches when he says that. It's very funny.
That episode is great. It's called The Sexless Innkeeper.
Oh, funny.
And at the end of it, eventually, he actually does find a woman that likes tweed.
Oh, I love that.
He rubs it into Barney's face with a poem.
Careful. That's funny. Do you have the clip? I don't think it was that long. Now we probably don't have time for it. Bill Murray talking about Bruce Willis.
I do. We do not have time.
We do not have time for that. All right, let's read some text. All right, so we read Steve's text. Here is 608. I would say The Doors. I had a fun experience when I lived in L.A. in the early 90s. I got to be an extra in the crowd when the Miami 69 concert scene was being filmed, where he was totally out of control. That is real. Boy, I would love to hear more about that because he got arrested. 608 says he was so great in that film. Great experience. Totally agree. Phenomenal Jim Morrison portrayal. That was Janet from Madison in the 608. She also says, love the show. Thank you so much, Janet. We have more show coming up. We're going to talk a little Bucks basketball and a really fun fan challenge. That's all coming up next after the news, after Civic Media's news team keeps you informed. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From De Pere to Swamico, 97.9 WGBW. You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The Milwaukee Elections Commission is issuing an apology. Stuart J. Waddles has more.
Milwaukee's spring election Tuesday saw historic voter turnout, leading to ballot shortages at 8 polling locations. The Election Commission sent out a statement yesterday acknowledging the delays and inconvenience. Some voters waited for hours for ballots and others left without casting a vote. Officials say they'll try to learn from the situation and adjust ballot estimates for future elections.
A New York wholesaler that sells wine juices to wineries in 12 states, including Wisconsin, is recalling its pumpkin juice. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration said the pH of the juice is too high and potential contamination could cause botulism, a type of food poisoning that can be fatal. Walker's Wine Juice Pumpkin Juice was sold to wineries in a dozen states, including Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin in the Midwest, and the company's retail store in New York. More fun entertainment news for the area. Crossroads 41 has announced that in addition to its main stage, it will now have a second stage filled with entertainment during the festival on August 7th through the 9th in Oshkosh. The festival food stage will be inside of the Cowboy Town Beer Barn. Acts will perform sets during the breaks on the main stage, and a DJ will close out the festival food stage every night. This will ensure continuous entertainment throughout the festival. Tickets and information are available at xroads41.com. WGBW has an e-newsletter that comes out twice a week, and it is filled with stories you care about from the greater Green Bay area. Subscribe today at wgbw.fm. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.fm.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Stage moms or dads can be pretty annoying. One thing to be overbearing, but according to Macaulay Culkin, his dad Kit was abusive. The Home Alone star and brother of Oscar-winning Kieran Culkin sat down with Oliver and Kate Hudson on their sibling Revelry podcast and said he's had a poor relationship with his father since childhood. Culkin says it made him realize even at a young age he would never be like that with his own kids. What a life he's had, and still only in his early 40s. Here's one of Pete's picks. I'm halfway through season 3 of Bosch Legacy, and the show is delivering big time. There's always a fear when you really like a show that you won't like the final season, but that is not the case. The show follows private investigator and former detective Harry Bosch, played by Titus Welliver, as he investigates LA-based wrongdoings and disappearances. The show has 2 talented cast members and Nite guests in Scott Place and Jamie McShane. The show is definitely worth a look, but maybe just start from season 1 of Bosch. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the low 30s. Partly sunny tomorrow, a high near 50. Maybe a shower tomorrow night. And for the weekend, with a return to sunshine, high temperatures pretty close to 50 degrees. It's 46 right now.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Picture waking up to stunning waterfront views on Lake Michigan with private beach access right outside your door. Can you see it? Make it a reality and book a vacation rental in Door County, Wisconsin and discover a world of natural beauty and relaxation. Explore charming small towns full of arts, shopping, and history. Head out for boating, kayaking, and hiking in scenic parks or stop and sip local wines at Door County's best wineries and breweries. What kind of trip are you planning? Find your perfect Door County getaway today at simpleliferentals.com.
Earl Ingram.
Tomorrow on the Earl Ingram Show, I'll be handling some
Pete Schwaba. Tomorrow night I'll be live from our Madison studio, and I will. It'll be my pleasure to welcome Greg Aliana, the creator of the Meet the Parents franchise, who will be in town for a big screening at the Barrymore that we just talked about on Saturday afternoon. He will be on the show with Jim Vincent, and then, as always, it's Friday. That means our friend Terry Barr will be here for Bar Band Friday night. Terry is always fun, brings us new music, and she is an absolute blast to talk to. So that's tomorrow night on Nightlight. We will also be live from Madison on Monday night. If you haven't, I was just talking about the film festival and this screening Saturday. If you haven't checked out a Director's Cut on PBS Wisconsin, you can go to pbswisconsin.org and get kind of a rundown of the Wisconsin Film Festival. We've been doing it here on the air this week. You can also check out Director's Cut on pbswisconsin.org. I host a show and bring in a lot of directors, and it's a fun show, and you get to learn a little bit about what's playing this year. So definitely check that out. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Val Kilmer film? Val Kilmer was a phenomenal actor, passed away a couple of days ago. We've got some really good suggestions and contributions from listeners. So keep those coming. Bridget on the text line says, real genius. She said he was excellent in that. That was my pick as well, Bridget, in the 818. Could not agree more. She says his character, Chris Knight, was so cool. Totally agree. Keep those texts coming, folks. All right, so this is going to be fun because I'm about to welcome a very good friend of mine, a family friend. We're actually kind of more like brothers. He likes me a little bit more than I like him, but we're going to bring him on. But first, I want to preface this appearance by Conrad, what was it was the Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks, yes.
There was a fan challenge there.
It was the tic-tac-toe game.
Tic-tac-toe, yeah.
Where there's a tic-tac-toe board at half court, and there's two contestants on each side, and they have to make layups, grab a piece, put it on the board, make another layup. Well, one contestant didn't get too far in it. He grabbed the ball.
4 seconds, right?
He grabbed the ball, ran down the court, and that was it for his ACL.
Didn't even get a layup up.
Nope.
He's just an average guy, tore his ACL. They had to have the medics come down. The game was delayed. They had to wipe the floor. I so wanted him while they were wheeling him out to do the thumbs up to the crowd. Who would have just laughed at him? But we have a similar thing happen here in Wisconsin at the Pfizer Forum last Sunday. John Corwin, who's about to join us here on the show, was the winner of the Play Like a Pro Fan Challenge, and it was sponsored by Michelob. We'll find out how he got that and how it went for him. He got to hang out with Brandon Jennings at the Pfizer Forum on the hardwood. How cool is that? It is my pleasure to welcome to Nightlight for the first time, John Corwin. Hey, buddy.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing, Pete?
We're doing well. Thank you for the wave, but this is radio, so if you could talk, that would be great, John.
That would be nice. I will say, when you guys were talking about the ACL, as Brandon Jennings was a great guest, but I will say Joe Schwaba's presence outshined Brandon Jennings. But the whole time, as we found out, you enter these contests, you're never gonna get picked. I've done a million of these, and the next thing you know, you're picked. And
wow.
First thing I was like, okay, ACL, my Achilles, whatever it may be. The second I came out of that court, I took one dribble as a joke crossover, rolled my ankle. Thank God I'm fine. But it was just classic. I was terrified the entire time that I'm going to break my leg in front of Brandon Jennings in the Bucks DJ.
Did you hear about the thing in Atlanta with that guy?
I didn't, and I also never heard about Val Kilmer, so that news just broke for me now. Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, great actor. Not a very good hoop game, as I understand, but that's okay.
Probably not.
We all have our callings. Hey, it's great to have you on the show, buddy. This is really fun. You were a pretty darn good athlete yourself in high school, and a very good basketball player, actually. So I know you're a huge Bucks fan. Tell us a little bit about how you talked about you didn't think you'd get picked. Tell us how you got picked.
Yeah, so you're scrolling through social media, and all of a sudden, Michelob Ultra Bucks thing pops up. Play like pro. Enter now. Very simple. Entered in. I had to tell a story about why basketball was important to me, and I talked about in high school. My senior year, we were 1-20, but I still showed up every day. We were god awful. But it was fun. It was still fun to play basketball, shoot around, enjoy it. And then throughout my entire life, I've been around the game. I worked in college athletics across the country for 20 years. So it was pretty easy to explain why basketball is so important to me. And I also talked about last time I lived here in Milwaukee about 10 years ago, I played in a sort of a men's league, but with all guys we knew, a lot of guys from Marinette. We're up there in age, and we're just going out and playing basketball, and we have people that are taking a little bit more serious than others. We're just trying to get up and down the court, get some shots up, but it was a lot of fun. So I talked about that experience, but so we had to fill out that form. I get an email back from Michelob Ultra saying I'm selected to the next round. Next round, I had to have a video about why I should be picked. Obviously, Joe, your son lives here in Milwaukee. Filmmaker. I reached out, and the next day we shot over here at Cass Street School. I live here in Milwaukee, and we went on the windiest day probably ever in the city of Milwaukee, and got some shots up. We filmed a few things, and I brought my daughter with, and Joe did a great job making it funny, showing my game a little bit. I posted up my nephew a few times just to make sure that they knew I was really good at basketball. Worked out very well. So submitted that, and then about a week later, we got the call saying we are selected. So from there, it was just a whirlwind of changes from what the promotion was, and here and there. So we were kind of, as we went into Sunday, not really sure how it was going to work. Certainly had a little bit of a skeleton what was going to happen, but we had the time of our lives. It was so much fun to just be in the arena, and to be a part of like the game. And other winners were there too. So there's 5 winners from around the area that came, and we each got to bring 2 people with us. So it was really, really fun. And certainly I brought Joe for helping out, but yeah, it was just an overall really fun experience to be on the court. They had the DJ there. They introduced us, which was very funny.
Jeez.
So that was very, very fun to have that overall experience with the Bucks as you're a fan, for most of my life. And I mentioned in the video when I was in college here in 2004, I went to probably 20-ish games. They were $5 tickets back then for college games at the Bradley Center. And I didn't see one win in 2005 or whatever it was. We were so bad. So then to all of a sudden come through with Giannis and a championship in 2021, incredible. And obviously, we were around in town for that quite a bit, and just, yeah, to have this experience, to be on the floor that the Bucks won the title on. And, I was hitting so many shots, Pete. I was lights out until I had to move. Yeah.
Listen, I was so excited for you because Joe showed me the video he made. It was very funny. You had a couple shots that you drained, and then a couple that looked like there's no way they're going into the hoop, but he edited it, so it was a swish.
Yeah.
You had your daughter, Signe, who is as cute as a button. You were holding her. She's in a Bucks jersey. My initial response was, I don't know how they don't choose him. This is a great video.
Yeah.
He's got his daughter. He's a good dad. You had Signe on the court rolling the ball to you. It was great. And so when you got it, I was so excited for you because I know how much you love Milwaukee. I know what not just a Bucks fan, but what a Wisconsin sports fan you are. So for you to have that experience, we were all thrilled for you. And I'm glad you didn't embarrass yourself, tear anything, and I'm glad you were hitting your shots. I would assume it's a set shot these days, John?
Oh, absolutely. You get me on the free throw line, Pete, I'm making every free throw I take. The second I have to move laterally, that's when I'm just, there was another guy that was playing with us, my size, large American. He and I were like, hey, we need to really play this out right. Like, let's do a few possessions down here. We'll have a little fun, and then we'll go down to that side of the floor. I'll play offense for a little bit. It's a huge floor. Like, you don't really think about it too much, but if it's just so very, very big, and it was 4-on-4, and they're like, all of a sudden they brought out refs too, Pete. Like, there's 2 referees that are coming out here making calls, and we're doing out of bounds, and it was pretty like legit. The entire experience was. Man. One thing I would say too is, we knew Brandon Jennings was going to be there, and Bucks and 6, and when I was in college, he was playing and things like that. So, I always knew about Brandon Jennings, loved Brandon Jennings, and to be, as we were walking into the arena to meet everybody, Joe and I were walking in, and we saw Brandon Jennings. He was with his brother, and we were talking for a little bit. Went into the locker room. We got a free jersey as well. We both got Damian Lillard jerseys, and we came out on the court. He couldn't have been nicer. Like, he didn't have to be as kind, as engaging as he was, and he was awesome. We were playing horse for a little bit before. He was teaching my wife Danelle how to shoot as she airballed some. And she's probably gonna be upset I just said that. She airballed a few, but eventually she rolled up, and her shot is a bank shot. So, but he didn't have to be as cool as he was. He was like that with everybody. So it was, as they say, don't meet your heroes. He was exactly not that.
Oh, that's cool. My guest is John Corwin. He is one of the winners of the Play Like a Pro Michelob Ultra Challenge that took place at the Pfizer Forum Sunday. My 2 favorite moments, John, were the video you sent of Joe being announced. That was cool, too, that they announced you guys, and you got to run out of the tunnel. And he points up, and I was with your brother Mike watching tournament games at the time, and Joe points up, and I look up, there's nobody in the stands. It was so great. So Brandon Jennings, you just said don't meet your heroes, because I know that could backfire, but Conrad and I were talking about that earlier. Like, this guy is just supposed to be salt of the earth, an all-around really cool guy.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like one of those things where he didn't have to be as nice as he was. He didn't have to have that energy. And it was through we were there 2 hours on the floor, roughly, and in the locker room. He took photos with everybody. I was so tired at the end where I didn't even think about getting a photo with him, but there was some really good imagery. He was coaching us up. We had quarters, 4 quarters, and after the first quarter, we're all on the bench. Joe and I both had towels on our heads. I am just sucking wind as hard as possible, and he's trying to tell us like to set screens and like to push the ball. I was like, Brandon, we're not pushing anything. We're just trying to survive out here. But it was one of those things where we thought we were going to have. So at the end of this, we had about a 2.5 hour break. And when we were coming back, we got to go into a suite with all the contestant winners, and we actually got to watch pregame shoot around from floor seats. So that was incredible as well. We thought Brandon Jennings was going to be in the suite with us. He unfortunately wasn't, but that's when we were going to take some photos and things like that. But just to have the overall full day with the Bucks, and the Bucks staff was incredible, as you can imagine. And I think if you go to as many games as I've been to in my life, you see kind of the fan experience and how people engage at these different events, and the Bucks are top notch. They do it better than anybody. So to have that experience, and there was, hundreds of people working from the Bucks to make this experience positive for everyone. So shout out to the Bucks as always.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because we were talking about earlier in the show. Somehow we got onto Conrad was a Dodger fan when he was a young kid. And I talked about how great their PR people were. And I was going to ask you about that. You just answered that the Bucks are fantastic at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And these people, they win awards for the PR they have. They win awards for the marketing. If you go to a game, it's not about wins or losses for them. The experience is top notch across the board, from when you get to the arena, your interactions in the game, the fan experience on the video board, the light shows, everything.
That's
obviously
excellent.
We have the best player in the world on our team, so that's always fun during the games as well.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, thanks for your time tonight. Real quick, we got about 30 seconds. Prediction: Bucks in the playoffs, 5th seed right now, I think. What are they doing?
Yeah. I mean, I always am going to say we're going to win the NBA championship again. I will always die on that hill.
You got to say that, yeah.
Yeah, but realistically, yes, we are winning the title.
Okay. We'll have you back on if it happens. You could be here in the studio. It's worth a trip to Green Bay. John, thanks so much, buddy. Congrats again. So happy for you, and thank you for spending a few minutes with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks so much. Bucks and 6.
All right. That's John Corwin, winner of the let's just call it the Bucks and 6 challenge. We're coming right back, folks. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite. We're going to wrap things up on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Matinee on Air.
Feeling better is about feeling all kinds of things. You want to feel healthy, sure, but you also want to feel heard and understood, valued, even, loved. That's what we want too. We're Amplify Health, and we think the best way to care for someone is to care about them. That's why all our treatments include a little empathy. Welcome to healthcare that's all about caring. Welcome to Amplify Health by Bellin. A little empathy changes everything.
While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, you can help Mino and the Mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number 1? That's up to you. Top craft pick creators include Sturgeon Spirits in Oshkosh, Timekeeper Distillery in Green Bay and Wausau, and Ledge Rock Distillery LLC in Eden. Vote for your favorite now by logging on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick. When you vote, you'll enter a random drawing to win $250 in gift cards from participating craft creators. Don't wait. Voting ends Friday, April 18th. Log on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick and vote right now. Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick, drafting Northeast Wisconsin's finest one sip at a time. Winter is out and winning is in. It's our Break into Spring statewide text to win contest on your local Civic Media radio station. Your daily shot at a Chula Vista getaway, Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, or $100 cash. And every entry gets you closer to the grand prize, a brand new Verlo Queen mattress set complete with a mattress, sheets, protector, and pillows. Download the Civic Media app from the App Store or Google Play Store. Choose your stations, listen in, then get set to
This might be my favorite Thursday show in quite a while. Great to have you with me. We're in the home stretch here. I will be live from Madison tomorrow night. And we just found out Terry Barr for Barbie and Friday Night might be in the studio. How exciting is that, Conrad?
She will be.
She will be.
Yep.
That's definite.
7:20.
So, 2 in-studio guests tomorrow, Greg Leanna and Jim Vincent, talking Meet the Parents. And then Barbie and Friday Night in person, Terry Barr, the one and only, our friend, will be there. That'll be fun, too. We shouldn't laugh at people that tear their ACL, even though it's an NBA challenge. That guy, as I understand it, was a Real Housewives contestant or something like that, or his...
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I don't feel bad at all.
No, that's more entertaining than the actual show. What happened to this poor guy? I shouldn't say that, but
all right, I'm kidding. I feel bad. That's a terrible injury.
But I just tore my MCL during the break, blowing my nose. It's easy to do, folks. Be careful out there. I love that the other guy kept doing the contest while his fallen comrade was like writhing in pain.
The announcer's like, well, that's not really fair.
Yeah, right. It's like, what's he supposed to do? So the other day I found this clip. This is so great. Bill Murray, I think it was from the Howard Stern show. This is a few days ago. I sent this to you, but he tells a story about when he was on Saturday Night Live, and Bruce Willis was working his way up in show business, hadn't booked anything yet. This is probably early 80s, pre-Moonlighting even, which I think is the show that put him on the map. And this is Bill Murray telling the story about Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was a page at NBC. Wow. When I was on Saturday Night Live. No way. Yeah, he was a page. Wow. And his job was to come and to refill, this sounds like insane, but his job was to come and go to the dressing rooms and refill the M&Ms and pretzels kind of thing in the actors' rooms. And I remember when I met him after he was already a successful guy, he said, "You and Gilda were nice to me." And I thought, okay. And that's, I always thought, okay, I'm good with this guy. But
that's pretty cool. You like to hear that. Like John just talked about meeting your heroes. I mean, Bill Murray has no bigger fan than me, and I loved hearing that, unless he was making it up. But Gilda Radner, cool, too. She was such a treasure, and I'm trying to find I wrote my clips down. What other clips do we have, Conrad? I wanted to play that one with...
Well, yeah, we got that Marlon Brando.
That's the one. Okay, because we'll save Rhea Perlman. Conrad cut together, I sent some clips of... sometimes I forget how funny she was on Cheers. And how acerbic she could be, especially towards Cliff. So one of these nights, we will get to those clips because she has some phenomenal one-liners. But right now... and I did this because today is Marlon Brando's birthday, so I sent you this clip. And this is Chris Elliott used to do Marlon Brando on David Letterman, and he comes out and pours out a bag of bananas. Part of this is visual. I apologize for that, but the song he sings and how he talks to Paul Schaefer is hilarious. And then Dave's response to the whole thing. Here's Chris Elliott as Marlon Brando on Marlon Brando's birthday.
Oh, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And may I be so bold as to interrupt your little late night with Larry King Live, which I was watching in the green room. It's very funny. Now, this evening, ladies and gentlemen, the fellas, Ringo and the fellas and I, have put together a little something. It's called My Famous Banana Dance. And it's something that I perform on my island regularly, and I perfected some years back. And before we perform it, I'd just like to say, before we do it, that we hope we do not offend. All right, now just one moment. Let me prepare for it. Let me throw out the bananas here. I'm going to put them right here. All right, fellas, you ready? Yeah. Okay, on you. Go ahead, Ringo. Hit it. Here we go. All right, there we go. Bananas. There we go. Bananas. There we go, boys. Bananas. All right, that's it. Thank you, Paul. I love you. All right. Okay. Oh, jeez. David Letterman.
Don't take this personally, but that made me sick, too.
That was the best. Every time Chris Elliott would do something, whether it was the guy under the seats, the regulator guy, Dave would always say something about how it made him sick. Chris, don't take this personally. That literally made me ill.
No, Chris Elliott played a father on How I Met Your Mother. He played Lily's father.
Okay.
And he did some of the grossest things on that show. His whole thing was that he made board games. And they're playing, I can't say the name of the game.
Okay.
But anyways, let's just say this.
Inappropriate, though.
If the timer runs out, it pops. And what was in it was horse bile.
Was what?
Horse bile.
Horse bile? What's that? Something gross, obviously, but...
Not good. And that was his character.
He was Woogie in Something About Mary. Very funny. And then he had his own sitcom called Get a Life. We talked about this with a guest recently, and he went to one of the episodes was he went to something called Handsome Boy Modeling School, which was run by Brian Doyle Murray, and Chris Elliott changed his name to Sparkles Peterson because he's trying to be a male model. Really funny dude, and what better way to celebrate Marlon Brando's birthday than to use Chris Elliott to do so. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us tonight. My thanks to Greg Schwem, John Corwin, all your texts. Great answers regarding our question of the night with Val Kilmer. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, good night, Wisconsin.
Take me to your best friend's house, Mama.